The film begins with the main character, a young bandit named Casper, looking at a wall with photo wallpaper depicting an autumn alley, strikingly different in beauty from his everyday life. He has the letters MS tattooed on his back, a sign of his affiliation with Mara Salvatruca's gang. A teenager takes to the streets in the city of Tapachula in southern Mexico, right on the border with Guatemala. He collects tribute from local businessmen and meets with gang members, then rides his bicycle to Benito's house. The grandmother is not going to let the child out so that he does not get involved with criminals, but the boy does not listen to her and runs away. Casper puts away the things the boy stole and then reveals that Lil Mago, the leader of a local gang, intends to see him. As an initiation, the crowd beats Benito, after which the bloodied and sobbing boy is announced to the gang members. Through the pain, the juvenile delinquent smiles, for which Smiley is subject to criminal prosecution. The action moves to Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras. Lady Saira lives here. She is preparing to illegally cross the border into the United States with her uncle and father, who were recently deported from there. There, the father has a new family, and he wants to help his daughter from his first marriage and brother reach the land of opportunity. However, Saira is not sure that she wants to leave her historical homeland. Benito and Casper are on duty at La Bombilla station, where illegal migrants wait for trains and where the border between two gangs lies. Casper receives a text from his girlfriend, then leaves his post and sneaks into her apartment to kiss her. Little Benito watches the pranks of adults through the window. Later, when they go to the gang's headquarters, Casper asks the minor not to talk about how they fell from their post early. At Benito's headquarters, they explain the basics of criminal life and the rules of obedience. He has yet to kill his first enemy, a member of a rival gang. The chance to complete the initiation occurs almost instantly. Lil Mega points to an enemy trapped in Mara's Lionetruca's territory. According to him, the bandit from Chavala was caught in La Bombilla, where Casper was on duty, but he was not noticed there. However, the teenager denies leaving his post. Lil Mega orders Benito to kill Chavala with a homemade firearm welded from several pipes, and obliges Casper to help him. The boy, under the guidance of a teenager, carries out the order. Now he, like all the gang members, is covered in blood. Later, they talk in the courtyard, and the leader assures the boy that he is now part of something bigger than himself. 3 days later, Cyrus is wandering through the jungle with his relatives, memorizing a phone number along the way. If anything happened to them along the way, whoever made it to Texas would be able to call relatives in New Jersey. Travelers pass through the jungle from Honduras to Guatemala, and from there to the Mexican border. Here they're caught by border guards, searched, but not finding anything prohibited, they are released. Migrants come to La Bombilla, where they set up camp with other unfortunates in search of a better life. The father explains to Saira that they still have 2 or 3 weeks to cross Mexico before they reach the U.S. and Texas borders. In the evening, Casper is on duty with his friend Marta Marlene. They talk, but the man skillfully reduces the conversation to a showdown. She believes that the man does not say anything about his affairs because there is another in his gang. They are fighting. The girl is about to leave when other gang members appear at the station, led by Sol, Lil Mago's deputy. He tells Casper to come to the general meeting of the cemetery tomorrow. Also, noticing a stranger, he wonders who she is. The teenager introduces Martha not as his friend, but as a casual acquaintance, which only aggravates her resentment. The train goes by at night. During the stop, migrants hastily climb onto the roof, but it turns out that the train will not continue moving. There was an accident ahead, and the roads were blocked. The next day at the meeting, Lil Mago announces that they need to raise money for the community. He also questions the loyalty of Casper, who lied about not leaving his post. As punishment, his gun is taken away. When the meeting is over, the hero notices Martha, who came without an invitation. Lil Mago turns his attention to the girl. He volunteers to accompany her to the gate, instead of the duty officer, Casper. The gang members beat her and Benito while the leader leads the girl past the graves. Off to the side, where no one can stop them, Lil Mago tries to rape Martha, but she breaks free. The criminal, unable to tolerate such disrespect, punches the girl, causing her to fall and hit her head to death. When it gets dark, the leader returns to the meeting place. The beaten Casper asks where the girl is, to which he replies that the devil took her. Look for someone else. Realizing what happened, the teenager could not hold back his tears. Lil Mago gives Benito a crossbow and states that the 3 of them, he and Casper, will go to work. The tracks are cleared, Migrants board the train. The train is leaving. 3 bandits arrive at the station. They board the train as it moves. When it blooms and the train stops at the station, criminals begin to rob the poor at gunpoint. The situation worsens when Lil Mago discovers Saira. He likes a beautiful girl and rapes her. But still not recovering from Martha's death, Casper cuts his own throat. Realizing that he will now be a target of the international crime syndicate, Casper sends Benito away, telling him to return. On the way, the boy encounters the conductor's body, dismembered by a moving train. And Casper, along with the others, goes further to the border. The migrants, frightened by such proximity, decide to throw the criminal off the train before he notices him. But Saira, who was saved by a teenager, distracted the enthusiasts by shouting Border Patrol. Benito at headquarters talks about what happened. Almost in memory of the leader, Sol accuses the child of treason. Let the killer get away. The only way to clear your good criminal name is to find your ex-boyfriend and kill him. Otherwise, the same fate awaits him. Sol gives him a 6-shooter and sends him on a mission. Before heading north, Benito brags to the other kids that he is in a gang and has a gun. At the next stop, migrants replenish their supplies of fresh water. Casper receives a text message from Sol saying he is being followed. Saira climbs onto the roof. She brings him food. The next day, the train arrives in Tierra Blanca, where the migrants go to a rest stop. Eat, rest, wash. Casper is hiding in the building, trying not to be too noticeable. Benito reaches Tierra Blanca and searches for the local branch of Mara Salvatrucha. He explains the essence of the matter, then enlists the support of the militants. They already know what happened. The bandits question people at the station, but in the crowd of migrants, no one notices a boy with a tattoo on his face. Only the drunk homeless man knows who they are looking for and where he went next. A migrant train approaches Arizaba. Local residents throw food on the roof of the poor. Saira does not leave Casper even a step, despite the fact that he admitted that he is already dead. Its discovery is only a matter of time. Approaching the train station in the city, the bandit warns that the police and border guards are constantly watching there. So everyone has to get off the train, walk a few blocks, and then get back on the train. At this time, Benito and a group from Tierra Blanca, led by Scarface, are looking for a renegade at the station. The criminals were divided. The fugitive notices them. While they're chasing Casper, Scarface and Benito encounter an enemy gang. A firefight ensues, as in San Andreas, but Mara Salvatrucha's fighters are swept away by the enemy's numerical superiority. Casper is allowed to break away from his pursuers and board the train. The executioners met on the trail, get into the car, and drive to the next city. Approaching Mexico City, Casper jumps off the train early in the morning while his companions are sleeping and leaves. Making his way through the streets, he is annoyed to notice that Saira has followed him, leaving her father and uncle on the departing train. They go to Aunt Tanya, a criminal for whom Casper once did dirty work. She knows about his situation, but promises to help. Tony transports them in the trunk of a car to a fruit warehouse outside the city, from where he loads them onto a car transporter, transporting the cars to the border. Painted on the concrete wall is the message Lomaga, Casper will not pass. Therefore, when the fugitives go inside, the woman tells Saul where they went, because it is more important for her to go against the Mar Salvatrucha gang. On the way, the gentleman tells Saira that he could not save his beloved from the leader and is unlikely to be able to protect her. They're already looking for his head and hunting for it with the help of magic. At the same time, the father and uncle, along with the remaining companion, attract the attention of the border guards. Trying to escape from them, the uncle falls from the roof of the cart. In Reynosa, Benito and the rest of the gang await the aircraft carrier in ambush. The truck pulls up to an abandoned area where militants are searching cars on a trailer. But there's no one there. Casper and Saira got up early and went to the homeless shelter. Here they line up, but cannot stay long. Based on his tattoos, the man was identified as a bandit. A fight ensues, but he cannot face them alone. Saira recognizes the fellow traveler they were traveling with as being from Tapacula itself. He says his father was deported back to Honduras, and his uncle was killed by a train while trying to escape. The girl runs off to the church in tears. There, Casper bumps into her. Later, on the banks of the Rio Grande River, which marks the border between the United States and Mexico, the teenager convinces the girl to continue the journey and get to New Jersey. They hire a guide to cross the river. On the way to the checkpoint, they are spotted by a suspicious man, but Casper ignores him. Driver can only carry one at a time, and Saira goes first. While she undresses and hides her clothes in a waterproof bag, the members of the Mara Sarvatruka run with weapons drawn on Casper's trail. When the girl and her guide enter the water and reach the middle of the river, killers appear on the shore. The teenager runs away from them, and Saira tries to return to him. Casper runs to the shore where Benito is standing. The boy points a revolver at his former friend. Realizing that there is no other choice, Benito shoots him in the chest and stomach. Saira discovers that the rest of the fighters run out at the sound of gunfire and shoot into Casper's body, eliminating even the slightest chance of survival. Sobbing, the young lady swam to the other side, filled with the sweet air of freedom and opportunity. After Casper's execution, Benito got the expensive letters MS tattooed on the inside of his lip as proof of his involvement in the gang. In the finale, Saira goes to a shopping mall in the USA. She goes to the pay phone and dials the phone number she has memorized. She contacts the only person in a foreign country whose help she can count on. But that's where the film ends.